let's try and demystify classroom control. There are some things, some kind of mindsets that people carry when it comes to class control, and they think of it as together as a single thing with classroom management. Let's talk about some of the things that you should know about classroom control. Class control doesn't mean the student has to be silent. Silent doesn't mean participation. Remember, we are saying classroom control, the ideal thing, right? The principal thing is participation. When you say keep quiet, and then now they're quiet. Now what? If after they're quiet, you bring something boring, they're gonna go back to talking again. If you say everybody keep quiet and they're quiet and only one student is playing the game, what do you want them to do? Sit idle and wait for you? That's not going to happen. Think about it this way. You yourself, if I were to put you in a lesson for 40 minutes and there's 20 students and I call one student to play a game and I say, you sit down quietly for the next 20 minutes before it gets to your turn while everyone plays the game, how's that going to feel? Or you think they're students, they're younger or whatever because it's different, so it's different? It's not. It's the same. You can't expect students to be idle. Neither can you use it as a means of control. Teacher, you cannot use idleness as a means of control. You can't use silence as a means of control. It doesn't work. You can try, but it will not work well. At best, for a short period of time, and you will lose them again, especially kids. Now, we're also saying that control is involvement by the student. Ideally, basically, that's participation. Control should be directed towards participation. So, for instance, sometimes what you can do is, and a lot of people have come up with this idea, which is that when you have a stubborn student in class, someone in the lower 10 who's always giving you problems, what you can do is make that student class leader or make that student the person who gives out the stickers. You have introduced participation. You have given them something to do. They are participating in something. Usually, poor classroom control has participation issues. It doesn't have well-structured participation or involvement by the students. Now, what you ultimately want to do is for the student to control themselves. That's what we are saying. You're not trying to control them. You're trying to put into place structures in which the student will control themselves. The student will not be looking somewhere if there's a fun game they're playing. The student will not be distracted if they are happy enjoying the lesson. So it's not that you are trying to control them, but you are trying to make the lesson, structure your class, your everything in such a way that the student wants to involve themselves. They're so involved that they forget that they could be idle thinking about something or doing something else. That's ideally the mindset we want to have. So the student can do that by listening, by engaging, by participating in your lesson if you put together a good system for your class. So we've talked about lesson segmentation already. When you set up a good routine, when you set up good systems for your lesson, you realize that the child knows when you say, let's sing a song, yay, they're happy. They are controlling themselves. They are bringing themselves in. Let's play a game. They know there's a game coming up. They jump in. You're setting up things which will make the students actually involve themselves. And that's what you want to do. When you want to control them, you actually tell them to keep quiet. And that goes back to idleness, which is not good. But then when you want them to control themselves, you say, let's listen to John. John has an interesting answer. Everybody listen. Let's see if he's right. If it's right, let's say yes. If he's wrong, let's say no. You have set up a system of involvement. So when John tells us the answer and John is right, they say no, 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 no. You have introduced involvement. That's how you need to think about class control. So usually, if you want them to participate in the lesson, where you want to have really good class control, your biggest bet is to set up systems for participation, because ideally good class control is directed towards participation. Don't forget this.